Hey guys, and welcome back to the Psychic Sleuth channel. I'm sorry that I've kind of been away and not posted a video recently, but I've been struggling energetically. I had a healing done, and there's some things that are low that I think are causing it, and my eyes to be really dry. So I've had a really hard time getting going and getting things done, but I appreciate you guys still supporting me, liking the videos, rewatching the videos, and all of that. If you can please hit the like. And if you want to subscribe, that would be great. We talk about true crime and other things here. And we're happy to have all our new subs. So, um, all the ways to support me are down below. And if you would like to check out the Otter jewelry, they have bracelets, they have necklaces. This is real gemstones. This is the Aquarius bundle, and they give $1 to otters. I absolutely love it. I wear it all the time. So Christmas is coming up. If you would like to support me or the channel, that is another way to do so. Also, I am getting Justice back into training. If you would like to support that, you may. All the information is down below on how to donate or tip towards that if you feel the need to. That is trying to search train him, eventually cadaver train him. That's hopefully what's going to happen. Our original trainer kind of quit on me, so I had to find a new one. But do not feel obligated in any way. That's just something that I'm trying to work towards, and I will get it done regardless. Just you being here, liking, and commenting and being around is enough. So, also I have merchandise below, astrology merchandise. Again, Christmas is coming up. If anybody would like to support the channel or check that out, I would sincerely appreciate it. All right. So I am going to do an updated. I want to use the cards, and I'll give you any psychic hits that I'm getting, just because that's what I'm feeling pulled to do, because I'm very curious about what cards I'm going to pull. Because I actually had about 40 cards that weren't in the deck because they were conspiracy, and I do a lot of crime readings, and I didn't see the point in having conspiracy in here. So I had taken them out of the deck. And then I realized it, and I was like, you know what? I needed them in there when I was doing the political readings and all of that. So I've added them back in, and I want to repull on Trump, the election, and then I'm gonna do another spread for the drones, because everybody's asking me, even though I kind of have my my own hits and thoughts on that, and I'll let you know what they are. I put the conspiracy in here, so we will see what pulls up. And I'll give you any psychic hits that I get. Now, information that I get can be past, present, or future. That's including in the cards. Symbolic, metaphoric, not always literal. And it can happen all around, the case. Things, or all around the situation that's going on. Okay, there's a lot that's going on right now, so do keep that in mind. I will do my best to perceive them the best way that I can. Any visions that I get, I will give them to you. And I am learning to channel different ways and tap into information in different ways. So the cards, I'm getting a little bit better at doing that. I don't always get hits off them, but it's happening more often. So, we're always learning, growing, and evolving, and I try to do things a different way, and I go the way that I'm led to do things. So this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to pull, I have crime cards, I have some other cards here. So whatever I feel guided to do, I'm going to do. Like I said, I've mixed the cards in here. That's conspiracy cards, and we'll see what comes out. So the first thing I want to pull on is I want to do, and this can be anything that Trump's involved in, allegedly, along with things that have to do with the election, because there is some election stuff in here that I did not realize I had. And so I usually, when I work crime cases, I separate them from people, what happens, like I separate them a different way. This one I went through and kind of put them together, so I'll have to re-separate them again, and hopefully it works the way that I want it to. So I'm always trying different things and new ways to pull cards, and new ways to learn things. So hope that you enjoy. I do pull them and lay them out, try to think of them, and then show them to you. I don't have a camera that shows the cards. I don't have a real big space for it, so I like to do it this way, and then it gives me a chance to kind of get hits and stuff, and then you don't have to sit here and watch me shuffle for 10 hours. So yeah. Anyways, this is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This is all alleged. And Keep in mind that any future things are possibilities. As we have free will, nothing's really written in stone, but it's the most likely outcome. So I like to tell people that. All right. This is a new way that like I said, I'm pulling with the extra cards and kind of putting everything together. So we'll see how it goes. All right. And I still am kind of learning the cards. And so I prefer these cards to tarot, although I might throw some in. We'll see. So remember, this is going to be happening like around the world. This again as past, present, future. Not just the election, but things that are surrounding Trump and surrounding the world right now is the way I wanted to pull it. And I did pull up actually the the alleged UFOs or the I'll go into that later, but I did pull a card in here that shows that that's kind of going on because I feel like there's multiple things going on around that. So we're going to pull separate cards on that, but it's still coming up in the cards. So, okay, so I feel like there's blackmail that's going on, and I've always felt that. I feel like there's blackmail going on with Putin. I feel like there's blackmail going on with certain judges. That's why they kind of do Trump's bidding allegedly. So I feel like that maybe Trump may be blackmailed in some way, shape, or form because honestly, it comes across to me and the way that I felt for a while is that he's a puppet in a way. So I feel like there's a lot of blackmail that's going on. Specifically, they're showing me legal things like certain judges and stuff that were put in. The reason why they do his bidding, not only are they being paid off, but there's blackmail here, and that has come in previous readings. And I'm just going off intuitions and visions that I'm getting. If I get hits, I'll tell you. So I feel like with the whole trafficking thing and with certain things that they're involved in, birds of a feather, right? That there's blackmail going on, like Trump, like I know what you did, I know what you do, like he has evidence allegedly. So I feel like there's all kinds of blackmail going on around this. And there's manipulation, as we all know, right? But there's manipulation by the Antichrist, which is interesting that this is one of the cards that I had taken out because I was like, how am I going to use that in crime? But he manipulates his followers, he manipulates the system, he manipulates everything. There's lots of manipulation, there's lots of projection, deflection, and with the rods that said he is an antichrist, I feel like he is, or he carries that energy anyways. So there could be some sort of collapse just because of things that are going on, and specifically with him, like say if he does get in, or the fact that there could be a collapse going on around him, or the collapse of the Antichrist. We can take it as that too. Cards can have multiple meanings. Remember, it's just symbolism, so you have to kind of figure out what they mean with your intuition. But there's also going to be at some point, and this is things going on around the world too. So toxic food shortages. There might be food, which like, I don't know. I can't afford to like stock up on things, but and I never want to put fear out there, but it's always good to be prepared. But there may be some sort of food shortage in some way, shape, or form. Especially if we have a trade issue, right? And I'm just reading the cards, so the polar shift is interesting because I feel like a lot with Aquarius and Pluto, which is happening right now, there is a lot of revolutions happening. But with this, I feel like different earthquakes, different disasters that are going to happen with our Earth. But also, I just saw in the news today, so it's interesting this came up, is that one of these big icebergs had just split away, and it has been connected for a very long time. I can't remember how long, but so that was interesting. But I also take this as I'm hearing like tectonic plates. So the thing is like a lot of stuff that's going on energetically and also um in the astrology. I feel like there's going to be more climate things. This can also be symbolic of like a polar shift, like a shift in the government, a shift in things like that. So I feel like there's multiple meanings to this card. Um, Predictive programming is interesting because The Simpsons, that's what they say that they normally use as a predictive programming. Um, so I think there is some regular predictive programming that's going on in the media and whatnot as well, or that has in the past. Um, Unfortunately, there's terrorism that's going on, and it's interesting because it seems to be the cards that pulled up seem to pull up like not just around the election and Trump, but everything. Um, so, we have the whole thing with the wars and whatnot that's going on. Um, Also, if we look at that side, I hate to say it, but they're kind of terrorists in a way. They do spread fear and they have always spread fear, which is what terrorists do. So there is terrorism that's going on around, you know, um, that side tends to cause fear and terrorism, but also we have, terrorism that's going on around the world, but there also might be some sort of terrorist attack. I hate to say that, because I'm not doing an Autowrite on world events, but this is what's coming in the cards. But we do know at the same time that kind of that's how Trump is, as he likes to fear mongrel. Okay, now this this one's interesting. Okay, so I was just looking at this the other day because I saw it mentioned Project Bluebeam. Now, I'm not saying that that's what these are what the drones are, but it's interesting because when I read about it, it talked about this coming up with the Antichrist, and we have the Antichrist here. Yeah. So I'm not saying that that's what the drones are. I think there's more than one thing that's going on with the drones. I think, and I'll get to that part when I do that part of the reading. But this is interesting. And it can just be because people are talking about this. This is around, the situation. Just like when I pulled cards on Hannah and I was pulled the cult card, you have to understand the cult card is also groups of people. Because I don't have like a group of people card, so I could take it as either or. But also that was going on around and people were talking about it. So cards can pick up the energy of what's being talked about. I know that this is being talked about. So not necessarily saying that this is being put into action. It could be something that's similar. But we'll know more about that hopefully when we get into that part of the reading. Ooh. I have a premeditated assassination, and I don't know if that's going to be surrounding Trump or surrounding someone else. I kind of feel like Putin's kind of in danger right now. But past, present, future, it was allegedly tried before a couple times. So, but there could be something else here with someone. Might not necessarily be Trump, but there might be another premeditated assassination of somebody. Because it seems that these cards pulled up more than just Trump and the election. It's kind of pulled up everything that's going on. So we have aliens. So they're so this is going on. People are thinking that there's aliens and things like that. So that is the energy that's being carried around. I do think that there is some alien activity. I don't think that's what the drones are. I think the drones are military, and I'll get more into that. But I feel like there still are some alien activity that's going on. And again, I have some thoughts on this. When I'm going to pull specific cards for that and see. I think that's the plan anyway. So solar flares. This is something that I think is going on right now, and I think there might be more solar flares. So I think this is also in the astrology somewhere. I can't remember. It seems familiar to me, but and I think I've gotten it in Autowrites before, which I plan on doing a world event Autowrite, but I'm a little nervous to tap into the energy because last time I did it, I had a lot of anxiety, and you know, I don't want to fear mongrel or scare anybody or anything like that at this point in time. So I only do those when I feel pulled to it, but I do feel like there might be a huge solar flare one that kind of knocks some things out because they're kind of showing me that. Like they're showing me everything kind of going dark. So I don't know exactly what city it would be in or what, but there might be some sort of solar flare or something like a solar flare that may cause that. Okay. There is going to be riots and protests. I've already seen this. Every time I tap into Trump's energy, I feel riots around him. I feel like that if nothing is done, because there's supposed to be free, there's free will. If nothing's done and he has an inauguration, there might be riots and protests around that, but there's going to be other riots and protests probably between now and then in different ways. I keep going to Russia as there might be more protesting over there. And I feel like there's going to be more leaders that are taken down because, again, this is Pluto in Aquarius. It's a revolutionary period. It's the exposure of corruption, and it's so kind of dropping those types of leaders. So, I think they dropped North Korea's leader. They dropped all the other ones that are going on right now. So I think there's going to be riots and protests of some sort. The solve card, I'm not really sure how to take that. Other than there might be some things that are solved, some problems that are solved in regards to the election, Trump, whatever that may be. And there could be somebody that's fired. Okay. Um, and I'm gonna take the memory card as like past coming up, memories coming up. This is kind of like we are reliving something that we relived already in 2016. So I think a lot of people are having memories of that, right? So, and unfortunately, it's kind of like deja vu, but there will be liberation. And this is, I think, worldly. But as I've told you guys, I keep seeing a reference to airplanes dropping bombs. So wherever that's going to be, I'm not sure. I've been getting stuff with the ships and military for a while now in my Autowrites, but the planes dropping bombs, I saw the way that they were flying in like a formation. But that can just be the way that I'm being shown it. But I did see when first they showed me them flying and then they showed me them dropping bombs, not to scare anybody, but that could happen. But also there's going to be some sort of liberation. There's going to be liberation regardless of how this turns out. I think the people are going to be liberated. I don't think people are going to take a lot of things sitting down. So there's going to be liberation ahead. And it's interesting because it's next to the giant. So there's going to be a giant liberation is how I'm taking this together like this. So there might be some huge moves that cause, liberations in different parts of the world and specifically USA. So there might be a rival with royalty. Kind of interesting. I mean, that could be any type of royal family, which, that royal family did get dethroned. But there might be more rival with more royalty. Um, my mind keeps going. My mind keeps going to Russia for some reason, but also, I don't know. We're going to have problems with the royal family. I got some stuff about that in my Autowrites. So if you guys want to go back on the Autowrites, there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't happened. And there is a playlist for that, world events. But yeah, we might have a rival with royalty. So we have loyal military. I want to say or take this as NATO. And I think they're loyal. They're not going to. I think if they were given certain commands that go against what they feel is right, like if he were to get in, then they're not going to do it. But I just think that NATO is loyal, and there could be and our military is loyal, and I feel like they could be trying to come up with something like they're investigating. That's how I kind of take it, because they are loyal to the US, they're loyal to democracy, and it comes across that I feel like they could be investigating, or I hear keeping a watchful eye. So we all know that they're reptilians. I've said that in multiple readings because I continually pull this card. A snake in the grass as well. I always pull the affair card too, which that could be any sort of affair. But I'm just wondering, I kind of feel like Melania's having an affair. There could be other affairs. It could be any type of affair, right? That's interesting. So this is kind of interesting. We have a bad guy that's portraying as an honest politician. And he's kind of hiding out right now. I don't know if you've noticed that he's hiding out, right? And there's some sort of cleanups that's taken place in regards to everything that's gone on. And also, we talk about the cleanup of Big Pharma, which is what they want to do, right? With JFK Jr. and all of that. So he says. But yeah. World leader. Sucks when I run out of room. World leader. Hold on, I got my cards mixed. We have world leader that's using that, and the 5G card. So there might be a world leader that's using 5G or the internet or technology, something of that sort. And he is the devil, and he's got a huge ego. So it makes me wonder. Think of Putin with that. I don't know. So there is going to be legal proceedings with crimes. Crimes against humanity. Okay. I mean, that could really be anybody, but there's going to be, looks like there's going to be legal proceedings for crimes against humanity. This makes me wonder if he is going to get in trouble for some things that he does or tries to do. Because I always kind of see him in a legal situation. Okay, directed energy weapon. This is interesting because I've kind of seen that before, where it might take out again some electricity, some electronics, some internet, of some way, shape, or form. But this may also be something that's used by the military, the way that I'm seeing it, something that maybe we've never used before. If we end up having stuff go on overseas, everybody's down the rabbit hole, right? There's going to be something explosive that takes place. Never surrender, Democrat, to corruption or to jealousy or to power. Okay? It's kind of like they're not surrendering, they're not giving up. Okay? There's a paper trail of white collar crime. So there's a paper trail of something of white collar crime that he's involved in my opinion, allegedly. There might be some sort of lockdown, which, not to scare anybody, but I feel like, and this has come in before, I feel like we may have another pandemic or an outbreak of some sort. And we really don't need Trump in when that happens. But unfortunately, history repeating itself. That is also a Pluto and Aquarius thing. Pandemics. Now, I've been getting the bird flu for a while in my Autowrites, but there was a vision. I was giving a reading to someone. She was a nurse, and I saw her running through the hospital. And I told Lizzie at that time, we're gonna have another something at some point. I didn't want to tell her. I didn't tell her because I didn't want to freak her out. I don't want to ever freak anybody out. But I'm a little concerned at the feelings I get about certain things that are happening. But it can also be just any sort of lockdown, right? Could just be a city lockdown or whatever, but we might have some sort of lockdown. This is interesting. PSYOP. This is another card I didn't have in there. Political warfare. Okay. And I keep calling it a PSYOP. I didn't know that it meant political warfare. I thought it meant psychological warfare. This says political warfare. There's political warfare going on. And I felt like this whole election was kind of like a PSYOP, honestly. Because they have a hard time getting them on anything. I might be completely wrong about that, but this is going on right now. Okay. And we all know that their media is being controlled, or it was being controlled specifically when Trump was running. They only ran certain things. They didn't run the truth a lot of the time. Okay, I pulled some more. All right, so there might be a witness of some sort. That could point towards justice in some way. So you have witness and justice. And then we have the yes card next to justice. All right. But then we also have greed. Like I always say, like follow the money. Follow the money on this, because I got a lot of money cards before with the election. You know, they're partying right now. There might be a gift of surveillance of something. Either a conversation or something like that. That we're not aware of, okay? A lot of people are afraid right now. A lot of people are afraid right now. There's a lot of fear. He likes to push fear, allegedly. There's There's a distraction going on right now, though. Distraction. And there might be false accusations. But there was a meeting where there was communication that was taking place. Okay. And Trump is, I hate to say it, considered a celebrity, right? And he does have a cult. Oops. He does have a cult. In this instance, we use the cult card as a cult. Okay. And some of that cult is in the government, unfortunately. We have chemtrails. So there might be some protection from the evidence, which we already have seen. Cases dropped and things like that. But we always know he's protected. He doesn't ever get held accountable for anything. But there is evidence of protection as well, as we can take that. And protection from embezzlement. There's embezzlement that's going on from an evil corporation. And that can be Project 2025. That can be Trump's corporation. You know, he has his own businesses, you know, or one that he's tied to. So you can go to Teal, you can go to Elon. You know, there's embezzlement going on with evil corporations. And secret society, as I always say, he talks about the deep state, he talks about the swamp, you know, the secret society. He is the secret society, in my opinion. He's part of it. His people are part of it. I heard the stupidest thing that he was, well, the reason of Trump is he's trying to, you know, expose everybody. No, he's not. These people are his friends. Like birds of a feather. He's not trying to expose anything. He is part of the secret society. There might be some weather manipulation, but I can also take this. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. I do believe that there are conspiracies out there, but there's going to be some weird weather that's going to happen. They're showing me huge. I got this before. Like this is like a tsunami. There's a reference to Japan. There's a reference to earthquakes. California, which I've been getting that for a while. So, but I feel like there's going to be different earthquakes. There's a lot of stuff that's happening right now due to, again, the astrology and what's going on astrologically. And just what's going on with Earth. Now, this is interesting. You guys are going to like this because this is one of the cards that I didn't know I had. I was like, oh, I wish I would have remembered that I took those cards out because I wasn't sure how they would work with crime cards, right? Election interference. I was hoping I would get this card when I put it back in the deck. There was a change. Okay. There's a change and there was election interference. And portal. So, I mean, you can use that portal as a satellite, or, you know, where did some of the votes go? They go into a portal. You could look at it like that, but definitely there was a change because of the election interference. So for those of you who know and believe it, I'm an election denier. I don't give a crap. There's too many things that happened that make no sense whatsoever. The numbers don't add up. The math doesn't math. You don't vote Democrats all the way down the ballot and then vote for Trump. You don't win all 7 states that way. Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't match up. You and I know it. So here's our confirmation again about the election interference. Okay. And I think there's a lot of drugs that go on in his party, around his party. I think the last time I did the election, I pulled cards on the election. I kept pulling drug cards. So, I mean, there's gaslighting going on. We're being gaslit over the election interference, right? We're being gaslit over that. Okay. We're being gaslit over a lot of things. And unfortunately, there's a lot of abuse and neglect that goes on. It's going on. I always say that People are stuck in a abusive relationship with him. So microchip, this can be what we were talking about before, and how the tabulators are easily, he had the software, right? So you can take this as like there was hacking that went on with the tabulation machines. Might be a microchip that was used. I don't know. I can just be symbolic for that. But there was a cover up after that. And this is interesting. So he sold his soul for control, which was part of the election interference and still in the election. Because if he didn't steal it, like he has the motive of he was going to jail. Elon was going to jail. So Elon helped him devise a plan. Russia, China, they're all involved because we had the balls go off during the live that time. And he sold his soul. So what did he, and I've said this before, what did he offer? What did he offer Putin? What does he owe people that helped him? He owes people something that helped him. This can also go on being reminded about the microchip being like the app or something. They might tie something. That's interesting. We haven't heard anything about that. So, he sold his soul for the control of it. And also for the cleanup of it. So it makes you wonder. I think there's still evidence though, but who does he owe? Who did he sell his soul to for that? So that was all interesting cards. I was kind of wondering if that was going to pop up. We have delays. Again, I always pull the delays card. This is what makes me think the inauguration is going to have delays to it. And there's going to be drama that causes those delays. And there's prophecy surrounding this. There's a top secret incoming message that could be to Biden, that could be to the military. Climate change is a big thing. I could involve climate change, but there's just climate change going on around it. There's situations with it. Now, I've said before that it could be that there's going to be more women that come out against Trump, that something with Epstein could be released, something like that. Because I always get skeletons coming out of the closet. Yes, some skeletons did come out, but there could be more that come out. There's a secret trip. There's rumors about that secret trip. Okay, the sex card. And there could be something that happens with our power supply. All right, again, that keeps coming in, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, so we have blackmail again. But there might be a phone call or message that relates to the blackmail. Like somebody might have a message or a phone call or a text message or some kind of something that indicates blackmail. Because this is the second time I've pulled the blackmail card. I mean, outer space, there's a lot of things that are happening in our skies right now. So that's all Pluto and Aquarius too. And funny story, I seen a drone out here, which I thought it was an alien spaceship, and I was hoping it was an alien spaceship. And I really should have gotten a video of it, but there's really funny conversation on the community page where I contacted Tracy and I was like, hey, I've seen an alien like spaceship, like what's going on? But I did feel weird. I did feel like I was, I don't know, in a time warp or something. Like my time was off and I felt very spacey. But it was flying very low. It had all those green lights and then one red. I didn't know what it was. It wasn't an airplane. It was as big as, like they're saying, like a vehicle. And so when I saw pictures of it, I'm like, okay, or I saw videos of it, I'm like, okay, I guess that's what it was. But this was like, my sighting was before a lot of the other sightings. It's the only thing I've seen out here. It was the middle of nowhere and it was flying really low. So that's, I don't have a video of it, darn it, because my phone was running out of space and I was kind of scared to pull over, but I saw one. So, but there's a lot going on in our skies right now, right? But this is interesting. And I don't know who's going to jail, because I always get that. There might be a gift of jail because of physical evidence. I don't know who that would be, but it's kind of interesting because of some other cards that I pulled in just a minute. So there may be a man-made disaster. That means a plane might go down. This is literally a plane, and this could be like one of the planes for one of the dictators or somebody like that. Like, sometimes there's accidental plane crashes. That's kind of how I'm taking it. Of course, I've seen, and sometimes my visions take a while to happen, but I did see a commercial airplane crash. In one of, it was a random vision, but this could be something of that sort. But, or something of the sort of like people getting rid of their enemies that way, like weird, interesting plane crashes that aren't really like, they're man-made. They're not an accident. So there might be an argument with an acquaintance. I want to put Ilana with this. I want to put him with this. And, he's part of the cult. It could be somebody else in the cult. Right? But it looks like there's an argument with an acquaintance that's in the cult. Okay. I mean, that could be anyone. That could be one of his other people that, like, kiss his butt all the time. But what's interesting, it's so interesting that I keep pulling Justice card. Remember the last reading I did? I think I kept pulling Justice card over and over and over again. There might be justice of some sort. I'm just hearing be patient. So I don't know in what regards this would be, but there might be justice in some way, shape, or form. Like, you can only get away with things for so long, right? There might be something on camera. Remember I told you guys, like, I feel like he has videos of, like, he has Epstein's videos, I feel. But there may be other things that are on camera, other tapes or whatnot of, I don't know, maybe some sort of burglar in regards to the election. But I feel like his coworker, there's a coworker that's a spy. I've been saying that. There's going to be some kind of betrayal, or there's some kind of betrayal that's going on, but there's a spy that's in his midst. Maybe he doesn't know, but there's a coworker or somebody that's around him that's a spy. Doesn't mean that they work in the same cabinet, like they could work for him or whatever, but FBI. Oh, wait. Stranger. Sorry. Missed a card. So stranger. Stranger goes with that. So he might not know him very well, right? But he's there. She or she. It's a stranger. FBI. There might be a cover-up due to greed. But I feel like the FBI is investigating him. I think Christopher did that whole thing. I think maybe I was seeing him in the live because he was gonna quit, but maybe he set it up so it's difficult for whoever to take his place. But there might, I mean, who knows what he found out or left before. He has a little bit. I feel like, I don't know. There's cover up of greed somewhere though. There's lots of money laundering and stuff. Terrorist. Again. So there might be. I mean, that's how, like, I view him as that because he likes to make people afraid of things, which is interesting. In case you guys didn't know, it's the year of the snake next year. Trump is the year of the snake, and he always talks about that. reptile poem, the snake poem. That was just so interesting. Anyways, so we have another terrorist again. And that could just be someone that might like try a terror attack too. I feel like there could be a couple meanings for that. Social media. Maybe some things that happen on social media, which we also know he tweets or people tweet for him too. Or this is interesting because it's Facebook, and I know that Zuckerberg, which sucks because I like Facebook, like they're becoming buddy again. So there might be something with social media and Trump, Zuckerberg, Trump, something of that sort as well. Affair with a male. This could be Melania, but I'm just thinking like it could be a bromance too. And then we have aliens going on right now. Like it's coming up in the cards because it's like that's like the talk of things. Like people think it's aliens. This next part's interesting, and it's something that I've had a vision of, and I just wonder because Spirit reminds me of stumbling back from the podium, holding his chest. I've seen that multiple times. Somebody that had a near death experience saw it. So they're reminding me of that right now. But I said I keep seeing a needle, a vial, and a needle. And that's like repeating, right? Well, there's assassination with a drug. Possible. Somewhere. Okay. And there's fraud that's hidden and secret. Which he said he had a secret, remember? We all know what that was. But still, there's obviously hidden fraud. So I decided to pull a few of these cards, and you guys are going to like this. The first card I pulled and I was asking about Trump and the election, right? The first thing I pulled up was investigating. It's like, okay, interesting. There might be a fake apology from somebody. Red lipstick stains, which I feel like there's been, I don't know, affairs going on. But it's interesting because recording, announcement, explanation, revealing. So there might be some sort of announcement. There might be a recording of something too, like somebody saying something. But there might be an announcement or something that's revealed. But there's caution with it. So that's why everything's been kind of slow. There's caution with this. And he's super insecure that's why he's kind of been quiet. I think he's super insecure right now. Because he knows he's outdated. He knows he's expired. He's old news. He's discarded. And he's toxic. And he's kind of a bugaboo in America for us that see him for who he is, right? And it's interesting because there's an American flag back there. But look, game over for him. I'm just reading the cards. So, allegedly, game over. Destroyed. Shattered. Broken up. Fucked up. We're all going to be watching shit go down and enjoying the gossip. Now, the copycat thing is interesting because I go to Luigi with this because I haven't got to do the reading on him. I've been meaning to, but like I said, I haven't felt that great. I haven't had any energy. Lucky I'm doing this right now. But he felt more professional to me, and I don't know if that's just because that's like how the energy felt, like how I didn't really tap in. I was just putting out like what my thoughts were. Like he felt I don't know, he just felt more professional. So I don't know if that's like professional in his work too. He could feel like that, but I feel like there's and this underground group, like technology group, or somebody that has, other people that have axe to grind, and they might. It's almost like he says he's working alone, but he's not going to tell him that he's working with like an underground group, because it's always felt that way to me. It felt like an underground group for some reason since it first happened. It was like the very first thing that came to me, and I don't know if people agree with me or not on that, but I'm just telling you what I feel. And I just wonder if there's going to be another one, because I was told another CEO is going to go down. Why did I just see an explosion? I saw a building blow up. I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, or that's just randomly going to happen. But Trump's in there. He's depressed. I think he's depressed because I don't know if he really wants to be president in the long run. But somebody's going to set the record straight on the fact that they were caught, on the fact that he was caught, finding evidence, getting caught cheating. Cheating on the election, setting the record straight about getting caught with cheating. That's interesting. And he might be kicked to the curb because of it. You guys are going to like these ones. Total drama action. Right? There might be someone that flips or stabs him in the back because there's betrayal. I've been saying there's someone that's going to betray him. Deceit, backstab, traitor, not to be trusted. But he is also a traitor. But I'm just saying, he's betrayed the country and the American people many times. He's still a traitor. But again, multiple meanings. There's somebody that's going to betray him. I keep getting that. I've gotten that multiple times. So, and you guys are going to like those cards. Interesting. So I just did a few what's the vibe on Trump and stuff, on Trump and the election. I got paranoid. He's being paranoid. He's paranoid about something. He's paranoid that maybe too many people know too many things. Are they going to find out? This is why he wants to be president earlier. This is why he's acting like he's president earlier. Like, what are they going to find out? He's paranoid. But interesting time. There might a delay again. There's another delay here. Procrastination, too busy, but this is a delay card. And running, denial, escape, excuses. But he's having that now. Like all the things that he told everybody, all of a sudden it's I don't know if I can do that. So that's going on now. But there might be consequences for his bad choices. Games. Shattered. Broken, nightmares, failures. Envy. He's envious of, I think, what other people have. He's also competitive. So he's discontent, which makes sense because like I said, I'm not sure if he wants to be. He wants to do this again. But it's like he has to, like, because he owes people, and that can be the blackmail too. So there might be some rumors, gossip, and he's still worried. Emotions, worry, and fear. And he's being antisocial right now. Okay. Okay, now going back to my whole drone situation that I saw. It was weird because I've been seeing this alien type entity in my head. I'm not crazy that I want to channel. So Pluto and Aquarius is very, there's a lot of alien. It's an alien thing, like things in the sky, aliens, UFOs, whatever. I do feel like there's aliens and things out there, obviously. because I'm starseed and I'm an Aquarius, so obviously I believe that. But what's going on right now in the sky? And I don't really want to pull cards on it because I have these are the things that have been coming to me the last a few days. Okay. I feel like it's military. I feel like they have some sort of advanced thing that they are doing right now, and they're looking for something. Whether that be bomb or radiation or something like that. And so they're looking for something. They're looking for stuff. So I feel like I don't know if it's like shadow government or like the shadow military. Do we have that? I don't know. I feel like there might be why I want to go under the water. I don't know. You know what I kind of get reminded of just having no, I'm just going to tell you what the things that are coming to me, the visions that I'm having. I can't remember what movie it is, but it's like the Avengers, I think. And they have this like whole thing underground, like in this bubble. And I'm just wondering if we don't have something like that. I know that sounds really weird, or some kind of like secret place, kind of like the Avengers have. Like I keep getting a reference to that. So I feel like it's stuff that we've had that maybe we have even gotten ideas from the aliens, because I do feel like the military and the shadow government, whatever, have had encounters with aliens, and they might be sharing um some of their technology or ideas of technology. But I feel like a lot of it is the military, but I think there's more than one thing going on at once. So I think the drones are military, but then I think there's other things that could be UFOs. Because I keep being reminded to the thing I listened to for Oregon. What they were describing was not a drone. It was UFOs. I feel like they're among us. I feel like we will have more encounters with them. And this came in my Autowrite. Like I feel like that will happen. So it feels like there's more than one thing going on. But I do feel like the military is looking for something important, because Putin is done. He's going down, and I think a big part of it, is we have to make sure that if there's anything hidden here or anything that was stolen here, that that we find that. But I also kind of feel like it's the time for aliens. So it feels like there's multiple things going on at a time. I don't know if I'm making sense. Because some of the UAPs or the unidentified flying objects that people are seeing don't match like the drones. And it's interesting. I think there might be some sort of base out here, like underground, like, or I keep getting references like a desert, like underground, or like with mountains around it or something, like almost like in under, like again, like the Avengers. Like I keep going back to like the areas like the Avengers had, hidden places like that. The Navy comes to mind too, though. But it's almost like I feel like there's an extra. Okay. So when the CEO thing happened, I was kind of feeling like an like this other group, like this expansion, like this group, this underground group, like this revolutionary group, right? But what was interesting is what was kind of coming to me was like the government and then like these branches off to like different groups. And I had just wondered if that guy somehow got involved in that. And it was some sort of, although he had an axe to grind, he had a reason why he needed to do it, wanted to do it, that was used to advantage, if I'm making sense. So I kind of feel like there's other secret parts of the government that we don't know about. And I'm not like a huge conspiracy theorist, but that's the way it's coming across in regards to this whole drone thing and the whole CEO thing. And again, I know he said he wasn't working with anybody, but they could have manipulated him in some way, shape, or form. And he's into tech. He covers his tracks. I feel like there's people that get recruited to do those types of things, in my opinion, by a resistance group. But it feels like almost like a part of the government, kind of like Men in Black, right? That's what I kind of get reminded of. And we might have something like that, but like a part of the government no one knows really exists. I don't know if I'm making sense. I kind of feel like I sound like a crazy person. So, it's interesting. So this is going to be stuff that's going on around it and stuff too, but it's kind of backing up what I was saying, I think. So you know they're coming in from the water, a lot of them, the beach. A happy rebellion. I mean, people are rebelling against this. Like, they're freaking out over it. And I'm telling you need to calm down and relax. That's one reason why I think that they don't tell people, because of the panic, right? This might not have anything to do with it, but there might be some sighting. This could just be something foreign, or something that's known to be mythological. This is like a Bigfoot card. So there is control here. Also, there might be something that happens with the central bank. I don't know why that's coming up. So there may be propaganda, fake news, regarding an honest politician. Or he pretends to be the honest politician, but he's really the Antichrist. Which is interesting because, like I said again, there's another card that came here. When I read about it, it said it was like the time of the Antichrist that it comes up. Now, it might not be specifically that, but it might be something similar. You know what, though? I kind of take this as like propaganda, honest politician, like versus like the Antichrist. That's kind of like how I'm taking this intuitively. Like Joe versus the Antichrist. But there's going to be propaganda, of course. It says truth comes out, but that's like a cover up. So it might not be like the complete truth. I think they're looking for something nuclear. Okay. So that's kind of something, that's kind of how, like, that's what I think the drones are looking for. The ones that look like drones and the ones that act like drones. I think that's why they're flying low and at night. I think they're looking for something nuclear or radiation or something of that sort. And there might be that they think somebody may have taken with the help of an accomplice. The tunnel seems significant, so that could be just like tunnels under a city, tunnels under an area. There's reasons that they're checking specific spots. Maybe they felt like it came in on a boat or a ship. And that's why they're kind of checking, but they would be like in a tunnel or underground, of course. So that's kind of coming in that way. And it's alarming. But this feels like, again, that the drones are an inside job, right? There's a secret trip with money involved. I kind of think this was something that a secret trip that Joe took, like Biden took. And he found something out during that secret trip. That's the way it's kind of coming across. Or that might be surrounding something about this. Again, government-controlled media that keeps coming in. Because they're worried about crimes against humanity. And they're not surrendering to terrorism. Okay. They're not surrendering to terrorism. And yes, this is all bringing forth drama, right? And everybody's going down the rabbit hole. And there's lies surrounding it, of course. Like, there's people in the government that don't even know that this is, like, a government-ran thing. And this is an Illuminati hub, but I'm not taking it as that. I'm kind of taking this as, like a military hub or a hub of, like, I'm taking it as, like, a hub for, like I was talking about. It reminds me of, like, the Avengers and their little hubs that they have. Okay, so you can take the alien card as people think it's aliens, right? I do think there's aliens mixed in. I think there's alien technology that we're using. But as far as the drones and stuff, like, we're looking for something. So there's more than one thing going on at a time, in my opinion, and what I feel and what I'm getting. Underground government. Okay. Like I was just saying, it's some kind of secret government thing, and it's a secret government that like we don't know about. Like, a branch off of the government that's like a dark government, a secret government, something of that sort. Might be different than a shadow government, might be the same thing. And there's been predictive programming for this to happen. Of course, The Simpsons and other things that they put out there. Microchip. That can just have to do with, like, what they're something else that they're looking for, a microchip of some sort, or that could be like new technology, something of that sort. But it's good that it's top secret, because it's supposed to be top secret, right? It's good that it's top secret. It's weird that the climate change is there, but these things are going, like, in a portal, right? Like, nobody really knows where they are, and they're being protected. The portal is protected, say like that. But also, I think I got my cards mixed up. Protection of a Democrat. So it could be protection of Joe Biden because of it would be dangerous to him and under his watch. But there's digital evidence, and then there's like watching, like, okay, so these things are watching, right? I think there's for surveillance too, like they're watching too. Looking for explosives. What's weird is it says Republican stage. And I don't know if that's like something around or like revolving around this, but Democrats and Republicans are both in on this. But staged Republican, but the protection of the Democrat. And this is what's throwing me, like the directed energy weapon, which again, something nuclear, something that they're looking for, a weapon that they're looking for, a weapon that is here that, if Putin's done, we got to cover our bases, right? Like, who did he send here? What did he send here? I feel like something came on a boat. I don't know that it's necessarily ours that got stolen. It could be something that Putin is hiding that we're getting intelligence on that we know about. And that's why it's coming across, because Putin's pissed off, allegedly. And it could be him, it could be another world leader, but I keep getting a reference to something coming on a boat and then taken underground and put somewhere. And we received intelligence in some way through our shadow government or whatever. And so now we've had to use this technology that we've never really used before to try to find it. That's the way it's coming across to me. That's the way that it feels to me. That's kind of the visions that I'm getting. And they're worried that it's like a directed energy weapon or something nuclear or something that could do a lot of damage. And the only way they can find it is with these drones because it's underground. So they're looking for specific things. That's what this spraying is for. They're spraying, like, if they think they find something, they spray it and it'll like turn a certain color, something. I don't know. This is way out of my realm. But that's what it feels like. It feels like something was brought here from one of our enemies. We have received intelligence on it, and now we've got to find it. At the same time, I think there is alien. It's like it's the things that aren't drones, which I do feel like these drones, like we've gotten from alien technology. Like, I feel like the shadow government has worked with aliens, studied aliens, whatever. There's some kind of like we've gotten from their technology. And that's the way it's coming across to me. But it's something that they've got to find. So don't freak out. You guys need to quit freaking out about seeing the drones in the sky and all that. Like, they're trying to find something. They're trying to do a job. But are there aliens, I think, out there too? Yeah, I do. I think it's kind of both. But and that's why I'm wondering, like, too, like Project Bluebeam. I keep pulling this card. There might be more than two things going. Like, they might be doing like a psyop, like a psychological operation, not just political. Because it's weird. I was looking at this Project Bluebeam. This is the second time I pulled this card tonight. So there could be something like preparing us for real aliens, right? But that's not the drone thing. The drone thing, they're flying low and whatnot. Like, they are literally looking for something. But it's like at the same time, they don't want people to know that they're looking for something. So they could be making it look like an alien invasion. But I do think that there are aliens. Like, that's the way it comes across. Like, I'm not saying that there's not any aliens. I feel that there are. Like, some of these ones, like, they were talking about in Oregon, they said they were round and they looked more like a spaceship and they took off. Like, I think that we will have more alien sightings and more aliens will come to us as long as, and they don't mean us any harm. I also feel like the aliens don't want us to use nuclear weapons, so they could be helping in some way. Because I'm getting like both energies, and that's not just to say whatever, but I do feel like they're looking for something. They're looking for something. They're looking for a weapon or weapons that were brought here by one of our enemies and that we found out about it. But at the same time, I feel like the aliens are going to come eventually. So there is kind of and I don't think it's specifically Project Bluebeam, because although it's weird, because this Project Bluebeam supposedly surrounds the Antichrist, which we allegedly think Trump is. So that's what's kind of weird about it. But it might not be specifically that. It might just be like things in the sky trying to get like people kind of used to it, more aware of it for if that does happen. But then I do think that there's aliens. But so it's like those three things that I feel are going on. Like, I do think it's kind of a psyop, but I think that there's aliens mixed in, or people are also calling it Project Bluebeam, right? But I really think they're looking for a direct energy weapon, something that's nuclear, something that only these drones can find. That's the way that it's coming across to me. I use some different cards, and we have, okay, so there's lies about it because they're not being honest about it, but this is something that, again, is underground. They're looking for underground evidence. They're looking for underground evidence. What I just said. They're looking for something that's been put underground. It's the only way they can find it. And there might be mountains around. Well, they could be looking in the mountains, but literally underground evidence. That's what they're looking for. Outer space, which again, it's all happening in the skies, right? There's a terrorist that has done this, that has sent something over here. But again, there's an alien cover up. So there could be there's still aliens, and they're still like trying to make certain things look like aliens, like the ones that are like shape-shifting in orbs and stuff. Like those could be like they're trying to cover up the alien, those are aliens. Like there could be aliens that are trying to help us. They're trying to cover up. So that's the way. Oh, and there might be a natural disaster. But they're spying. So yeah, they're spying because they're looking for things. So they're spying. There's some sort of meeting there's a work meeting that happened. I mean, Biden knows. He knows, but he can't say anything. They're trying to keep a man-made disaster happening. So government involvement. Because they're looking for, again, acid, radiation, something like that. I need to be looking in the desert. They were looking in the desert because I saw them, but so this is a setup in a way, and there's something about power supply that keeps coming in. But they're, it's all over social media, right? But what they're doing is kept secret. And there's mind control involved in some way. And there's also money investigation that's going on, which again, that could be like somebody bought it and it came here or something like that. There's investigation into money. See, travel inside and ghost. I don't really know. I mean, ghost, like no one knows about it, right? That might be like a ghost government too, or a ghost, like it's hidden, like nobody knows about it. And here's the tunnels again inside. And travel. Okay. So we have false flag, obviously, because people don't really know what's going on. And again, it could be they are trying to hide certain, like that's why the skies are so busy. So maybe the aliens are trying to help. I hate to sound like that. And then like they're trying to kind of cover it up. But I definitely feel like they're looking for something, because this is a secret psyop. And I've been saying there's like kind of a psyop political, but this is like political warfare. So again, if we have another world leader that sent it here, another political figure that sent it here, right? Then that would be political warfare. But it can also, I've been saying psyop for a while, so I'm just like, huh? But again, I feel like they are trying to maybe make the skies really busy with different things, because maybe the aliens are kind of helping. I feel like there's multiple things going on at once. Like I can't shake that. Like it's not just one thing. And I think it did come on a boat. That's interesting. I pulled that card because I was saying that. MK Ultra is interesting. But see, there's unseen danger of environmental hazard, which again, if they're looking for some kind of energy weapon or something like that, there's unseen danger of that people don't know about, right? That there's something dangerous out there that we're looking for, that this shadow military or shadow government, whatever it is looking for. But there's unseen dangers of something that's an environmental hazard. And again, I keep getting the power supply, so there's something to do with, like, again, any kind of weapon would have like power supply, but they might be talking about attacking our power supply. Like I feel like there's stuff that like the government knows about, or this, it's almost like it's not CIA, but it's like they have like some of the same training. I don't know. But there's ancient mystery exposed. So there could be something that gets exposed in the long run, and that could be part of like the alien part of it. I don't know. But there's manipulation going on, but there's gonna be liberation out of this. Again, there's see, they're travel stalking. So they're flying and they're looking for things, right? In the hollow earth, right? And then the military. See. So definitely it's our stuff. Most of it, except for the weird things I'm thinking are like aliens, and like, so part of it is covering that up too. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm trying to put what I'm seeing into words. So I think that's it. I think that's basically all I can get on it. I've been asked multiple times to do this part of the reading as far as the drones and whatnot, and I had my own experience and I did feel very weird, but I think there's interesting technology on those drones that we're not even aware of yet. Like this does feel like a very underground, like just shadow government, shadow military, something of that sort. Doesn't feel like the regular one, although the regular one may know about it. Like certain people, like they're showing me thing, like a envelope that says top secret on it, which we did pull that card. So this is top secret. And this is something that I think we found out. I don't think we lost anything. I think it was brought here by some, or sent here by someone, or bought here, bought from someone. That could be the money. Like they bought it from this Russia or whoever that had it. Because we have people here that want to do damage. And if they're going to do it, they're going to do it very sneaky. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's what they're doing. They're out trying to find whatever it is. And that's why they're by that part of the world and by the water. But I think they're still checking the deserts and stuff because it could have been moved. It's definitely underground. Yeah. I think that's basically it. If I get anything else on it, or I feel the pull to do any more readings on it, I will. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. It's videos long enough. So thank you for being here. If you're new here and you like this type of stuff, please subscribe. And those of you that have watched all the way in that are here, please hit the like button on your way out. If you can hit the share and then just copy it, that will help it grow. And then if you can leave me a comment, I would sincerely appreciate it. Only good comments. I'm just going to block and mute people that are a-holes because I'm not doing it. So just so you know, which by now they probably would have watched it all the way. Anyways, thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.